Or is he still waiting in the shadows? Will some terrorist event trigger Earth's final tribulation? Will we witness the horrors of Armageddon and the 7 last plagues? What do we need to know to avoid being left behind when the Lord returns? Within the last 100 years, the world has had to endure 2 world wars and numerous other major conflicts, not to mention the rise of international terrorism. Add to this the marked increase in deadly natural disasters, including earthquakes, fires, floods, tornadoes, killer storms, and bizarre weather, all continuing to wreak havoc on planet Earth. No flesh would survive. When will it happen? Could it be some devastating act of terrorism? Some international economic crash? Maybe even an earthquake, asteroid, or some other cataclysmic event? Perhaps it's some chemical calamity or deadly or ever will be. The first plague is an extremely painful and gruesome sore that breaks out and causes excruciating suffering for the lost. 6 more devastating plagues quickly follow. The sea and rivers of water turn to blood. The sun is given power to scorch men with intense heat. As plague after plague falls, terror reigns on the panic-stricken peoples of the world. During this time, some of the saved find shelter in desolate and remote locations, where they are protected. A thundering voice shakes the heavens. Then there's a mighty earthquake that signals the approach of a massive heavenly armada. The children of God, so recently pale and haggard, now stand encircled by a rainbow and radiant before their oppressors. Their faces shine, for they know their Redeemer, and most are terrified by him. The wicked desperately flee to the rocks and caves, trying in vain to hide themselves from the approaching Holy King. And as Jesus promised, the evil men who were prominent in his trial and crucifixion are raised from their graves to behold him coming. A loud trumpet is heard ringing through the heavens, and the mighty voice of the Savior calls to the sleeping saints of all ages, saying,
Awake, 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 ye that sleep in the dust, and arise.
Throughout the length of the earth, a great army of saints arise from their dusty beds. They now appear clothed with youthful, glorified, and immortal bodies, without a trace of disease or deformity. Then, those who have lived through the time of trouble are also transformed. In an instant, they are given new, beautiful, immortal bodies. The terrified wicked look, with the world convulsing below them. The redeemed of the earth take flight and rise above the destruction. They fly up to join their Savior among the clouds of angels. Sorrow sits on the ground. For those left behind, chaos reigns on the planet. Amidst the hurricane of shrieking demons, the earth quakes, oceans boil, islands vanish, and the dark, angry clouds pummel the earth with gigantic hailstones. The wicked who manage to survive these catastrophes are soon destroyed by the brightness of the Lord's presence. Their bodies lay scattered across the face of the ravaged planet. For the first time since its creation, the earth is now completely devoid of all human life. Only Satan and his fallen angels are left to behold the results of their rebellion. With the New Jerusalem, return to the earth. As the city draws near to the desolate planet, Jesus commands the wicked dead to rise from their dusty graves. At his word, the unsaved from every time and place now stand before God. The lost are resurrected with the same mortal bodies they possessed before their death. As Jesus descends, his feet touch the Mount of Olives. a tremendous earthquake splits the mount and transforms it into a great plain. Then the New Jerusalem, the massive city of God, descends from the heavens
To battle.
Amazingly, Satan manages to deceive his followers one last time, and he rallies them to capture the heavenly city by force. Generals and military men of all ages now apply their combined skill to prepare for what is expected to be an epic battle. By this very act, the lost reveal that their hearts are unchanged. If possible, they would tear God from his instructions. Without warning, fire and brimstone fall from the heavens. The earth breaks up and fire explodes from the molten caverns beneath. And as the inferno engulfs the wicked beings rejoice under the loving dominion of God. Those who have been rescued from eternal destruction share a special bond with their Creator that no other heavenly beings can appreciate. Yet while sin and sinner have been forever destroyed, one trace of the great rebellion still remains.
What happened to your hand?
It is the scars on the hands, feet, and side of Jesus. As day after blissful day of eternity passes, all sad and painful memories dissipate in the glory of heaven's brilliant splendor. No longer tied to a limited lifespan, the immortal children of God are now free to reach their highest ambitions. The limitless pursuit of knowledge invigorates and stimulates the mind. No longer bound to earth, the redeemed are free to explore the wonders of God's endless universe.